You're listening to Crazy Shit in Real Estate. You'll be amazed at all these wild but true situations that others have found themselves in. Because on this show, you'll hear uncensored, unbelievable stories from the world of real estate. I'm Leigh Brown. Let's dive right in. Before you get the rest of the story, I'd love to share a quick message from today's sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Follow Up Boss, one of the leading CRMs, client relationship managers for residential real estate. Tons of top producing agents and some of the fastest growing teams out there are using Follow Up Boss to increase lead conversion, eliminate busy work that you're not doing anyway, and frankly, deliver a higher class experience in real estate to everybody who chooses you as their realtor of choice. So if you're going to keep listening to this, which I know you will, there's more information and a personal review of Follow Up Boss. For more information, go to followupboss.com/crazy. So spoiler alert, I'm Leigh Brown again. This is still Crazy Shit in Real Estate and with the same guest because she piped up with some great information after we stopped recording. And I said, let's do a bonus episode. Let's get tax wise and take great care of our hard-earned dollars. So tune in for more Stephanie Walter and some information that you need if you're an active investor. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so Stephanie, welcome back to the show. And we totally made this episode right after the first one because, as always happens with smart women, conversations start happening off stage that need to be brought back to the main spotlight. And you mentioned that it started with me asking you if I could do a 1031 exchange from my single family rental investment property into a syndicated project with you. And then you said you watched one of my other episodes that had to do with tax law. And you were sad that we didn't talk about your favorite tax topic, which means you're as big a nerd as I am, if not bigger, cost segregation. So first of all, let's answer that question for our audience. Can a regular person like a Leigh Brown who sells a single family investment property 1031 my proceeds into a syndicated property?
You can, but just sort of the thing is the timing is kind of beyond that. Yep. And also it just depends on the size of it too. If it's only $100,000 or something like that, it truly, you can get the same benefit out of the cost segregation, which I really love. And that's what I did with a lot of my properties. Now, a cost segregation, the episode I listened to where you guys were talking about the Biden administration and some of the things they were bringing up, like, the 401k, and they brought up 1031, some other different things they might touch or might not touch. They never brought up cost segregation, not once. And I've asked some of my more wealthy investors, I wonder why they didn't. And some are like, well, it's so not known that, and probably a lot of them are benefiting from it. So it wouldn't really get a lot of traction for them to bring it up. That was one theory. Or
our elected officials are using this method. And so they like to do things that benefit them and don't benefit us. So you
right, exactly.
Stick out for themselves. But anyway, so tell our audience what is
it is when we purchase, and this is for multifamily properties, any type of commercial, but we use it for our multifamily properties, is that you get a service, an actual person who's usually an engineer that comes out to the property. And we all know about depreciation if we own our real estate. But in multifamily, we can depreciate certain items faster than other items. So essentially, they just go through their huge checklist. It takes them a couple days to go through and do this, and they find all the different parts of property that are in the multifamily space. And then instead of depreciating them over 29 years or 39 years, we push the depreciation forward to where we're depreciating things in 1, 3, and 5 years. So when you're talking about a property like we're purchasing one for about $18 million, that accounts for an enormous tax savings that we pass on. Some syndicators keep it all themselves. We give it to our investors because why not? So it's a huge tax benefit. So it can mean over the course of your holding time in one of our syndications, that say if you invested $100,000, you would get $100,000 of tax benefits over the 3 to 5 years of you owning the property. In the first year, it's around a 40% So if you invested $100,000, you get a $43,000 tax benefit. And it's kind of the thing that I don't push a lot to the new investors because I don't know, it overwhelming tax stuff. People don't really understand it, but I love tax time because everybody gets their K1s and they're like, oh my God, I didn't have to pay any taxes. I got some taxes back. They're just like thrilled. And so once they usually go through a tax cycle for us, they're ready to invest again because that is the secret to great thing about investing in multifamily syndications is that I would just say cost segregation. Ask your syndicator, ask, do they use it? How do they use it? What would you expect to get back when you invest your money? And so, yeah, it's a great thing.
Okay. So I told y'all that I would do a review of Follow Up Boss, because I'm your friend in real estate. And I did. Now, there's a blue million CRM out there. I mean, if you go to any Facebook group, every realtor's like, which one should I use? Which one should I use? And you know that these CRM, which are client relationship managers or customer relationship manager, whatever you want to call it, it's truly a system that's just designed to help you know what to do next because you're very busy and you're a multitasker in real estate. With all those different tasks and balls up in the air, you need something to help you stay on track. And that's what Follow Up Boss does. Now, when you save a name and a phone number in there, that is basically a Rolodex. Follow Up Boss is going to take the names and phone numbers and also help you know what to do next. So you can maintain these relationships with your neighbors because that's what this is about. Real estate is not about serving just prospects and clients. It's about taking great care of your neighbors' needs in real estate. And if you'll use a tool like Follow Up Boss, where they remember you, they might even call you when they're ready to buy or sell again, or when their mom and daddy do, or their best friend or their kid, and you want to be top of mind, that's what a product like Follow Up Boss will do for you. Truly, it's going to change your business when you start paying better attention to people. They don't have to know you used Follow Up Boss, but they'll totally understand that they are being heard by you. So now there's a free trial for my people because you're loved. Go to followupboss.com/crazy. No credit card is required. And frankly, because you're my people and we made an ask for you, Follow Up Boss said, yes, you get double the free trial. That's actually enough time to log in, put some pieces in it, and watch it change your business as it has for so many realtors and teams nationwide. Again, go to followupboss.com/crazy to start your free trial today. And it's also why when you're hiring a tax professional, your tax professional should be well-versed on real estate and all those pieces of the tax code. And not every CPA is made equal. And you guys already know this. But there's a last thing I saw was 68,000 pages of tax code at the IRS, and they're going to add more with all of this new spending that's happening in Washington. So if you've got a tax professional that's not right up there in this space on real estate, you could miss out on these opportunities. Of course, as soon as we get off of this call, I'm going to call my CPA and ask her exactly what we're doing on this. She's probably already doing it because I'm terrible at reading my tax returns. She explains it and I glaze over, because that's just the real world. I'm just honest about that, but I have to have somebody great, and so do you. And it could also be why you want a tax attorney, because a tax attorney can also help you as you grow and as your empire gets bigger. So let me ask you a question about somebody that wants to make sure they have the right accountant. Stephanie, what would you say is the question they could ask that might be that indicator that their tax pro gets it or doesn't get it? Is there a tripwire you would suggest?
I'd ask, do they have any clients that are involved in syndications and real estate syndication?
Perfect.
I think that's a good place to go because I actually switched from an accountant I had for 16 years. This year was the first year, and it was emotional. I loved my old accountant, but I could just tell from the questions I had for him that he didn't get it. And it's not his fault. It's a huge, like you're saying, it's an enormous tax code. But I found someone who does work with that and understands it and can take advantage of it. Because it's funny, I'll tell people about this strategy. They don't quite believe me. So then they go and they talk to the accountant. And then the accountant calls me and it's like, what are you talking about? And then I pull up like the tax code for them, and which is I don't like to do,
but
Yeah, it really bothers me because they all have a real strong opinion, most of them, about some of them are like, oh, a syndication or whatever. Just because they don't know about it, they discourage their clients from getting involved with it. And sometimes they can be our biggest headache, actually. So,
Did you people hear that? Did you hear what Stephanie said? Because she just gave you one of the keys to life, which is that if you ask questions and somebody gets massively defensive or tells you you're wrong right off the bat, they probably don't know enough, which means you've either got to do some educating, like she's educating your tax pro, or you've got to make a change. And I see this all the time in real estate, and I've been in the business over 20 years. I've run into so many CFPs, certified financial planners, and stockbrokers, and this person and that one. And if they start poo-pooing real estate as an investment strategy, I'm out. The reason they do that usually is because they would rather sell you stocks and bonds and mutual funds and annuities and things that create a revenue stream for them. And a good financial planner should be less about what they're making and more about your total picture, which should include real estate, which should include a tax pro who is going to look for the ways to find you the best possible legal ways to manage our tax code. Because let's be honest, if it were something simple, it wouldn't take a tax professional. But with 68,000 pages of tax code, you have to have a pro that gets it so that you're protected. So listen to Stephanie on that. Okay, so I got to ask a question though about cost segregation. Let's go back to the whole nuts and bolts of it. When you talk about breaking that multifamily property up, are you talking about the roof is one item and the HVACs are an item, and
doors, carpet, appliances,
doors, like interior doors?
Doors. Yep.
What?
So it is insane, like fixtures. I mean, it is so detailed. It literally goes through every part of the property and breaks it up. And that's why it's so powerful. So yeah, we've done it on, like I said, we're on our 8th deal and we've done them on every single one that we've done. And so sometimes when I'll talk to other syndicators or people come to me to ask me things, I'm like, did you guys do any kind of cost segregation? If they say no, then that's a big like, whoa, not the person you want to put your money with if they don't know that. So,
well, I've got some homework to do on my personal multifamily holdings, and I've got some education to provide to my clients who have bought multifamily to see if they're pursuing this strategy. And I am so extra grateful to you for not just listening to one of the old episodes, but for spotting a gap that you were able to fill for us today on this bonus episode. Nice. I greatly appreciate you for doing that. So the last thing I got to ask you, are there any resources or Q&As, FAQs on your website that relate to cost segregation that could educate somebody before they call you for syndication help?
I'm not sure if I have cost segregation. I mean, I mention it. I do mention it in some of my FAQs.
You have to make a little top 5 things to know about cost segregation, sister.
Yeah, I do make a little bit of a notice on it. But yeah, it is definitely, I need to probably expand that a little bit. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to talk to them about it.
So my homework is to talk to my tax pro. Your homework is to create another resource. And then everybody else, your homework is to reach out to Stephanie and then reach out to your tax pro and realize that that's why you're on this podcast, because you get to learn things right here along with me when you have somebody that's got the mindset of abundance and sharing that Stephanie obviously has brought to us today. So thank you for hanging around to do another bonus episode with us here. And I'm excited to find out how we all move forward with some projects in the future.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, guys, you know the drill, right? Give her a nice comment, give me a nice comment, give us 5 stars, subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Okay, now don't forget to go try Follow Up Boss so that your business can continue to expand in professionalism, and then you can meet some more crazy people yourself. I really appreciate Follow Up Boss sponsoring this episode, but mainly I appreciate them for giving y'all double the free trial time with no credit card required. So make sure you go to followupboss.com/crazy and then let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time. As always, I'm so super thrilled that you joined in for more crazy shit. And if you're a realtor, investor, inspector, lender, or just a regular human being who happens to have an unbelievable story that you need to tell the world about, or frankly, you just need to one-up the story you just heard, then make sure to DM me on Instagram at Leigh Thomas Brown, or tweet me at Leigh Brown, or frankly, any social network where you hang out. I'm there. And if you had some fun, then you totally want to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.